All right, the third and final content box inside our Photoshop layout. I think this is going to go pretty quick because we've seen a lot of this stuff already, so let's just zip along here. So what I'm going to do is, of course, make sure that the Content Box 3 layer is selected inside the Layers panel there. I'm going to go and add in his Color Overlay layer effect, of course, by double-clicking on his right-hand side of that layer. And then, let's see, I'll head down to Color Overlay, and then same story as we've seen a number of times already. I'll click on the color swatch there for the Color Overlay. And I'm just going to sample the blue out of one of the other content boxes. If you can manage to grab that blue out of the layout somewhere from the layout is just fine. We just want to sample that same color. And then hit OK twice, and everything is hunky-dory there for us. Perfect. Nice and easy, right? And there really isn't a whole lot in terms of explanation here because we've done this a couple of times already. So hopefully no worries there. The only other thing that I want to do in this exercise, at least before we move forward, is I want to get I'm going to call it the cookie cutter layer setup for the photo that we're going to insert. So just like we saw with the second content box, the layer that we're going to go and insert, the photo, I should say, that we're going to go and insert is going to be larger than the actual space that we're going to have available here. So we're going to run through the same trick that I had showed you for Content Box 2. Remember, we had sampled the size of the photo from Content Box 1. I don't know if you remember that, but here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to twist open Content Box 2, the layer group there. Notice, by the way, as a very minor side note, that I went and named my layers properly. So there's the name of our Flickr user, and then the actual cookie cutter layer, I just referred to that as photo, okay? Nice and easy. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hold down Control or Command and click on that layer's thumbnail, and that's going to give me the marching ants, right? And once again, we saw this earlier. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to tap my M key on my keyboard. That flips me over to my rectangular marquee tool, because I want to move just the pixels, right? Just the marching ants. And as I'm dragging here, by the way, I'm going to throw in Shift as well, just to lock this guy in so he's moving nice and straight across my layout. And I'm just kind of eyeballing it here. I suppose I could get precise and, precisely align this. But something like this, you can use your arrow keys too, by the way, if you want to kind of, micro position this guy. Something like that I think is going to be just fine for our purposes, though. All right, there we go. Everything's looking good there, which is nice. I'm going to go and collapse this layer group. I'm going to select the Content Box 3 layer. And then what I'll do is I'll go and create a brand new blank layer from the bottom of the Layers panel. Create a new layer. And let's rename this guy while we're here. I'm going to call this guy Photo as well. And I'm simply going to hit Control or Command Delete or backspace on my keyboard, and that will fill the selection on the selected layer with the current background color, white in my case. Now, the actual color that you use to fill this guy doesn't really matter because, again, this guy's going to serve as the cookie cutter to mask away, when we go and create our clipping group in just a moment, mask away the photo that's going to sit on top of them, right? So it could be solid black, it could be red, it doesn't really matter a whole lot. Just so long as we have pixels occupying this space. That's the important thing, okay? I'm going to go ahead and deselect, Control or Command D on my keyboard, and now we're ready for the photo. We'll insert the photo and create the clipping group next.